All right, so we're going to start with the discussion questions that come from the curriculum with the movie here. So last time we did it on animal rights, and we did very well with that, and I guess it would be similar today. So it's going to deal with E. coli today. So we learned just a little bit about this last time. So tell me, how do cows start to get E. coli? What is the cause, Rachel?
Because they eat food they're not supposed to eat, such as corn.
Okay, the corn-based diet is giving the cows E. coli. So what should the cows be eating instead to prevent this, Caleb?
Grass.
Yes, cows are meant to eat grass. So why then in our food system do we feed cows corn as opposed to grass? Caleb? It's cheaper, and I don't know about less work, but less time. Okay? You can get a cow to get overweight much quicker by giving it a corn-based diet as opposed to grass. And we're talking 5 months as opposed to 7 years. So simple economics for a farmer. They can have a higher turnover ratio by feeding these cows corn. Okay? So then, if a cow develops E. coli, it's a parasite in the stomach. And it changes the pH balance in the cow's stomach, and then it gets in the manure. And as you've seen in the movie, livestock is often kept in a confined small space. Why do we do that in our food system? Alyssa?
So they have no exercise, really, so they can just sit and get fat.
Very good. If you don't get any exercise, you're going to get fatter quicker. So if a cow is given an all-you-can-eat corn buffet and it can't exercise, it's going to be ready for market quicker. And the problem then, if a cow is sick, if one cow in a small confined space has E. coli and it gets in the manure, the other cows walk in it and it can get on their fur. They might not even have it. But if a processing plant does not wash the animals completely, it can get into the meat. And as you know, it can get us very sick or possibly even kill us. And if a farmer also raises vegetables, and there's a significant amount of rain, the runoff from that manure that could get into a garden-type field, if it gets on the food that we eat that's a plant-based food, and it's not washed properly, that can get people sick as well. So let's look at the boy from the movie, Kevin. Who do you think is responsible for him getting E. coli? Who gets the finger pointed? What's the blame? Alyssa?
The burger.
The burger, okay? The source of the E. coli came from the hamburger, okay? So now, that hamburger got to Kevin somehow. So who do we blame for getting that hamburger to Kevin? Do we blame the mother?
No.
Okay, why is the mother off the hook?
Because she didn't know the burger had E. coli in it.
Okay, good. The mother had no clue. We assume as a consumer, we go to the grocery store or restaurant and we buy or order a hamburger. We think it's going to be safe for us. We're eating meat, we're getting protein. We're not thinking that this is something that's going to be harmful for ourselves or our children. Okay, so the mother's off the hook. Where did she get the hamburgers from? Do we know? Say that again. Jack in the Box, okay? So somebody sold her the hamburgers at Jack in the Box, okay? So it was a fast food cashier. Is that fast food cashier to blame?
No.
No. Why is the fast food cashier off the hook? Caleb?
Because you basically just give him the money and he takes your order.
Okay, yeah, they're just transferring the money. Okay, so somebody at Jack in the Box had to cook that hamburger and somebody had to put it on a bun and put the condiments on. Are they to blame for this? No. Why are they off the hook? Alyssa?
Because they got it from somewhere. They didn't just produce it there.
Okay.
So they're just doing their job.
They're doing their job. Okay. So there is a boss at Jack in the Box, a manager and assistant manager that's overseeing the cook and the sandwich maker and the cashier. Is that person to blame? Okay, Dylan says yes. How come? Okay, they control what comes in and goes out. Nicole, what do you think?
It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, so they're in charge of the product. Is that what we're getting towards?
Yeah.
Emily?
Wouldn't it be no though, because they're just in charge of like the restaurant and stuff, and they don't, well, they control like where their food comes from, but they don't like really control what they eat.
See, that's why I like debate, because we can argue both sides. And you can argue that they're not to blame because they probably had hundreds and thousands of burgers to come through there. And again, they assume that it's all right to feed the people if it looks all right and if it smells all right. You know, we think it's going to be okay. Somebody have something over here that you, Morgan, you covered? Okay. So let's go past that. There was probably a truck driver that drove that tainted hamburger from somewhere to the Jack in the Box. Is the truck driver to blame?
No, this is transported food.
Just transporting. Caleb?
Yeah, like Rachel said, he picks up the meat. Well, they load it and he basically just drives it to the packing, whatever, the restaurant or the store.
He's doing
Okay. Doing the job. Alright, so now let's go to the meat packing plant. Somewhere that hamburger was processed. Taken off of the cow, turned into a hamburger-shaped patty, frozen, packaged, and then sent to the truck driver. Is the meat packing place to blame?
Yeah,
Okay, oh, some say no, some say yes. So somebody tell me why they are to blame. Emily, why are they to blame?
Because aren't they supposed to like check for like if the animals are sick or something?
They should have some responsibility to check their meat. Now, what the problem with that is that the movie tells us, in the 70s, we regulated our food supply very closely. There was a lot of testing, and we watched it very closely. As time has gone by, we don't have so much regulation. We still have some, but it's not as watchdog as much as it was. Okay? Now, we had some people say the opposite. Why do you think the opposite on this? Okay? Why are they not to blame? Tegan?
because they're not the ones that feed the cows what makes.
Okay, so they didn't feed the cows corn. That's a good answer. Who is in charge of taking the manure off of the cows when they get to the processing plant? Them. Somebody who works here. That's their job. So can they be considered a part of the problem if they are not cleaning the food supply properly?
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the blame could be shifted to them. Somebody can do their job and do it very well, and if you miss just a little speck and it's got the disease in it, you know, we're going to have a problem. All right, let's go to the farmer now. Okay, does the farmer share any of the blame for this? Okay, does anybody think the farmer does not share blame? Rachel, how come?
I'm kind of both ways because the farmers, they're just getting the cheaper product.
Okay.
And
Buying grass.
Okay, well, one at a time, let her finish and we'll go to you. Go ahead, Rachel. Did you lose your train of thought?
yes, I did.
Okay. Emma?
They could feed them grass, it's not like they don't have a choice.
We do it. The farmer does have the option of feeding them grass, okay? And we talk about the economic standpoint that corn, you're going to get that cow done. You know, you can do about 14, 15 cows with corn as opposed to one with grass. Yep.
Like you were just saying, the farmers feed cows corn because it gets them fat and ready more quicker. But if you feed them grass, it'll be healthier. It's going to cost you more, and you have to wait longer.
Right, and then it drives up the cost of meat. And you know, when we did the survey the other day, who would pay more for things like organics, we're a little hesitant. Yes?
If all the farmers fed them grass, then there would be plenty of food.
If every farmer fed them grass, boy, that would be wonderful if they did, but we don't have that. Maybe someday we'll get back to that again. Yep.
I also think it's on their economic standpoint, like they don't get a lot of money for what they do.
Right,
You
so
know,
they
it
have
takes
to
a
mass
lot of money
produce.
to get barbed wire or whatever what you need to confine the animal.
Well, you bring up a good point with the barbed wire. You know, we often just think about the cow and the food. I mean, there's other costs. The barbed wire or whatever, electric fence to keep the animals contained, electricity, you know, the water doesn't just get there itself, so either they're hiring somebody to do it, there's some kind of labor cost involved, and you know, and that goes into the cost of our meat as well. Now, I want you to think about something. We've said that the farmer is accountable, and that somebody at the meat processing plant could be accountable. And are they both just doing their job, doing what they're doing? Okay, so we said the restaurant wasn't. So what's the difference? Why is one more accountable than the other? Everybody's just doing their job. Is anybody being neglectful on purpose? Okay, you say yes. How come?
Farmers are being neglectful to their cows so they can just make money.
Okay, that goes back to our animal rights conversation.
Meat packers are being neglectful too, but that's why they're more accountable.
How is the meat packer neglectful?
They're literally just throwing all the animals together and just kinda like, yeah.
There's not a lot of empathy in there or sympathy. We're
Yeah.
just doing more mass producing our food source.
Yeah.
All right, very good. I'm gonna grab my notes and then we will go on to the rest of our discussion.
Yeah.